3, 2, 1.
All right. What's up, Alex? It's been a while.
It has.
Yeah. Well, welcome everyone.
Dad life.
Yes, dad life. Hashtag dad life. Well, definitely, I would be wrong to not at least touch on that subject for a little bit. So, before we delve into that, thank you for checking out this episode of Wondercast. I'm your host, Ryker Taylor, and as always, I'm joined in studio with producer Alex. So it's been a little bit since he and I have had the chance to sit down and do this because I've been out on paternity leave for the last, it was right at about a month. And so just got back in. Yes. Yay. Yes, absolutely. So my wife gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. We named her Haven Clark Taylor. So she was born 7 pounds, 7 ounces, and 18 and a half inches.
That's a healthy baby.
That's a healthy baby. Everything was smooth during the whole process, the whole delivery process. And then, post process as well has been fine. Everyone, mom and baby are healthy, and that's all I can ask for. So yeah. But that being said, with me being out, we haven't done one of these in a while. So, I'm excited to get back into the groove of this and continue putting out great content for the people of the internet. With that said, today I wanted to make the topic really about being where your feet are and being in the moment, living in the moment. Obviously, with what my life has been for the last month, and just in general. But the last month, I really have had to start focusing on just living in the now, living in the moment, and taking everything in. So, as it pertains to business, this is another reason this is on my mind is next week, at the time of this recording, the following week, will be Wonder Tree's 5th birthday, which is crazy to me. Yes, hit that yay for sure. I want a triple yay for that one. What does that say though? Of that we gave a triple yay.
Rusty.
Yes. What does it say though that we gave a triple yay for that, but not for my daughter being born? Does that make me a hashtag bad parent?
Still a piece of garbage.
Yeah, 100%.
We'll make up for it.
We definitely will. But, there's been a lot of things as of late to just simply remind me to stop and smell the roses along the way. And in business, if you're an entrepreneur, business owner, or just in life in general, it doesn't even matter what job title you hold or, anything like that. Life comes at you fast, and it can be really hard sometimes to just take a step back and appreciate all the good in your life. There's plenty. I could give you a list right now of 10 things that are going on in my day to day that I'm having to deal with that are less than desirable for me. Like, I'd rather not be having to deal with that. But honestly, that doesn't matter. Like, I'm doing this because I love doing this, and sometimes you got to do things that you don't want to do. And that's just part of the gig. So I can either complain about it or just take it in. And so that's really what I kind of want to focus on is your mindset and stopping and smelling the roses and realizing that, hey, these 10 things or whatever, however long the list actually is, things that I might not like doing all the time that I'm having to deal with today, I get to do those things. There was a time in my life, when I first started Wonder Tree 5 years ago, these problems that I have today are different problems, and I read a book, it's the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. I read it a while back. And one of the things that he says in there is, go out and get yourself different problems. Having different problems means that you're, growing, obviously. And so I guess for me, I've started adopting this mindset rather, that these challenges I face, they might be challenges, but I'm going to stop and I'm going to smell the roses. And I know that's kind of like a interesting way of looking at, challenges and difficulties. But when you take your mindset of, I get to do these things, I get to have this challenge. Alex, you just recently bought a home, and that was a challenging process to say the least, but you got to have that challenge, to go through the things that you went through meant that you were getting to buy a home. So there's some good that comes in that. So it's all about the mindset, but really just taking time, like with me being out this past month, I had the time to decompress, take a step back, and, Sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. And when you separate yourself like that for, that many weeks in a row, it really gave me a lot of clarity on certain things. And I was able to come back this week and start rolling out some new stuff and just working towards some new goals. And it's been really nice, but I'm taking it all in because in the hustle and bustle of life, I want to realize like, hey, there might be challenges going on. There might be a ton of victories happening, but I want to take a step back and just savor the moment and savor like, hey, we're a week away from our 5th birthday. Hey, my daughter's a month old and I'm trying to take in every one of those moments. That's my encouragement. If you're listening to this is an encouragement episode. If you haven't picked up on that, this one's less topical based as far as like tangible things that you can implement. And this is more just, I want to encourage you and remind you that wherever you're at in your journey of life, stop and smell the roses. Don't dwell there too long. I don't want you to go, from grinding all the time to stopping and smelling the roses and go the complete opposite. There's got to be balance as with everything. But if you're pushing it 90-0 constantly, you got to slow it down a little bit and just take it in for what it's worth. So with that said, Alex, I'm sure people would like to hear from you instead of just hearing my voice this whole time. What do you got to say?
Oh, I seriously doubt that. No, I agree with most of what you said. I think that's a good point to bring up. Just kind of like what you said at the beginning, being where your feet are. I heard you say that the other day, and I didn't know what that meant. So I actually went and looked up the historical context behind that. And I think so. For lack of a better term, what that means is just make sure you're living in the moment. I think you've said that, and that's a great way to be. I think a lot of us tend to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of day to day, and think about the future too much or the past too much, and that can cause a lot of depression and anxiety. And not respectively necessarily, but also heard that a friend of mine say that the other day. They said depression is you thinking about the past too much. Anxiety is you thinking about the future too much. So why not be where your feet are and live in the now?
That's
profound. I know.
That's very profound. No, but that's very good because that's wow. Let's take a moment, shall we?
Let's deconstruct that.
Yes, let's deconstruct.
That could be pretty heavy.
Yes. Depression is living in the past too much. I tell you what, fortunately, and I know this is not everyone, but fortunately in my life, I haven't really ever struggled with depression too much. That's not necessarily been one of my struggles in life, but there have been a few moments where I would say that I've had some depressing, days or even a week or two in my life. And it comes from exactly what you just said, me focusing on what used to be way too much. Now, one of the things I do struggle with is the anxiety side of life. Now, that is a Ryker trait for sure. Yes, cue up. Yeah, absolutely. So maybe not so much depression, but living in the past is not necessarily my thing, but living in the future, 100%. And that's very true. I'm constantly running through these million scenarios that could happen, and it's got me freaked out, instead of just being where my feet are and rolling with the punches, for lack of a better term, just taking it one step at a time. There is some good that can come out of playing situations out and kind of looking to the future. There's some kind of forward thinkingness that comes from that, and it can maybe help you in the moment, but I definitely take it way too far at times and play out way too many scenarios and carry it way too far out without having enough data. So that's just me being real, being honest right there. But I love that analogy and the way that you just broke that down for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't mean to use depression like too lightly as
Sure.
a comment, because I know that's a very serious thing. Same thing with anxiety. It's just that really hit home with me. I can't say that I'm like you. I haven't necessarily had to deal with depression before, but I do get bouts of anxiety too, and I think most people do, especially if you care about what you do and you want to produce the best result possible. That's just that comes hand in hand.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. So yeah, what's a way to just enjoy life more? Be where your feet are and smell the roses. That's kind of where I want to come back to, right? That's not obviously a cure-all by any means. I'm not saying that's not going to cure like chronic depression or anything like that, right? But I definitely feel like it can help. For sure, 100%. For me, and dealing with the anxiety that comes with, running a business and all of the different factors and scenarios that can play out. I'm really trying to just take a more zen approach, for lack of a better term, of just like, let things play out, like still be proactive, but let things play out a little bit more, and just enjoy where we're at, the crazy growth, because sometimes it takes people outside of our organization that haven't interacted with us in a while coming up to me and saying like, wow, y'all have come a long way. Well, to me, I'm going to back it up. A really good example, this very podcast, this very room that we're in, earlier this year, like the middle of January, we had somebody in here and had a guest, and that it was like the first day that we were in this office in this space. And so we're getting things set up, and our equipment still wasn't this setup that we have now. It was a much, much cheaper setup. And that setup, led to where that episode, the quality is not where we want it to be, right? It's not this. If you just look, that was January, and we're in like the first week in April here, and we've leaps and bounds in quality. But we've been going, like when you're moving quickly and you're doing all this different stuff, you can forget that was January. That was just January. Look how far we've come from putting out episodes that were maybe iffy on quality, or at least producing. We didn't put it out yet, but producing episodes, that's crazy to me. And I think that there's so many instances in life, not just for us, but for a lot of people. If you just take the time to intentionally think about something good, you'll find it. And then what you're going to find happens is, at least what I find happens, and I think most people probably do, when you get yourself in the mindset of thinking about the good things just continue to come to the forefront of your mind. You start building this habit of constantly focusing on all these good moments and things like that. So, got anything to add to that one, Alex?
Nope, but Epicam just went out. That's great. I don't know why.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so here I am, no camera, going back to your feed.
Okay.
Anyhow, yeah, I think that's a great point. There's, sorry, my anxiety's acting up now.
Elgato, man.
Yep, here we are. 2021, still haven't figured that out. No, I think those are all good points anyway. And I think that it's just encouraging to see that it does take time to do these things, but once you see the end result, I think it's, not like I know anything about this or not, but it's like seeing somebody who's had a body transformation in a workout of sorts,
Mm-hmm.
You can see all these people that are trying to tell you how to do it quickly, and ultimately it's just a test of time. It's how patient you can be. Here we go again, back to patience. How patient you can be in order to let those results set in and kind of get to that point. There's no overnight success, or if there is, it's very, very, very rare. It's out of the question. So yeah, I think that seeing that kind of thing happen where we've made the leaps and bounds, and knowing that it's taken even just a few months, still is a longer time than, expecting it to work overnight.
Yeah, 100%. So what's got me in this kind of mindset, one thing that really truly kind of gotten to me is, back to my daughter, Haven, being a newborn, everything that she experiences in the world is like probably her first time experiencing, right? So like when there was the first car ride, and there was the first trip to see grandma and all that stuff, right? But you can see on her face, just the awe and the wonder in the moment. Like she just looks around, like her eyes are super wide eyed. She does this little, like this, ooh, just looks around, like just everything is just so wondrous to her. And it makes me realize just how much as we grow and become adults, that we lose out on that awe and wonder of what it is to just be alive and just have things and people and scenarios and wildlife and whatever around us. Like just being alive is fantastic, that's like, shout out to us for just being here. Yes. But just seeing that on my daughter's face, and just knowing that every time she she just looks at light a different way. And, you know, her eyes are still, they're mostly, she can see a lot more now a month in than she could when she was first born. But like she continues to better see our faces and stuff like that. So she's still every day learning something new about her own parents who have been with her this entire month. Like, and that's going to continue on for probably forever. You're always going to be learning something new about someone. But it just really stands out to me, just the being that we're there to take care of her. She doesn't have to worry about things. Like, we're there when you don't have to worry about this stuff. You just focus on the wonder of life. And yeah, that's where I'm at. This is just, I'm just getting all kinds of up in my feels about this today, man. Like, just, I want to just encourage people. This last year has been obviously, it's been tough, you know, for a lot of different reasons and different for everybody. Right. And I think we just all need to remember to stop, take a moment, breathe, and enjoy the good things in life. Even if they seem to pale in comparison to the bad things in our life, we just have to focus on the good. So, well, it's just for those of y'all listening, you know, just so you understand, whenever we sit down at the table, Alex typically does not know what we're talking about until I start talking. I like to keep it a surprise for him and just let it be what it is. So,
if I had time to prepare this, I would be able to not just have that on cue.
Yes,
I'd have a Zen music in the background or something for something like this.
We need some kind of like not maybe like church bells, but some kind of choir or something, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. I'm just going full Dr. Phil today, just hopefully without the baldness. Well, cool. Let's change it up a little bit now. I think we've talked about that and people get what we're trying to go with it. Alex, what's a brand that you're jamming on as of late?
Oh, the brand that's coming up this week.
For Brand Love. Okay.
Love. So, next week, I suppose, would be the 16th of April. Nissan is a different take a little bit on Brand Love, I think. We're trying a couple of new things there, and I don't know. They didn't do anything crazy to change their stuff, but they've kind of upped their game a little bit and stepped into the next echelon.
It doesn't shock me that they're trying to start to play a little bit more in the Tesla space. Now, are they Tesla? No, I don't. No. Tesla can't. No one can be Tesla unless they have Elon Musk.
Yeah.
And nobody's getting Elon Musk. I'm sorry, that's just not happening. Well, maybe Texas. Maybe Texas could lure him away to you know, the University of Texas. This is a Chris Beard reference here.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I just had to bring that one in. I'm salty as hell about that, man. Yeah, I just... if they can lure Chris Beard away, maybe they can lure Elon Musk away.
Maybe they're already one step closer.
Yeah. Good Lord. Anyway, well, that's cool. I'm excited to see that episode when it comes out in a few weeks. And then if you're listening to this episode, it will have gone out after that, Brand Love. So go check it out on our YouTube channel.
YouTube.com/WonderTree.
Yes, sir. Yeah, look at you putting in the plugs. Well, for me,
I think that's right. I may be wrong.
No, it's right. It's right. It's like youtube.com/channel/WonderTree or something like that. They had like channel in there.
Now I just need the knowledge sound clip.
Yes. You talking about the like the pyramid, like the lady thinking or
that. Well, I mean that there's really no sound to that. There's just
okay.
a clip of audio where somebody says knowledge.
Oh, gotcha. Yes, you do need that. Well, cool. Yeah. So a running theme of this podcast, when it's just been you and I, we talk about my crypto investment. And I'm happy to say that I finally cashed out on that thing because I lost like $300. So it went up. Well, I still made money, but I lost like I put in like
too long to pull out.
Yes,
Gotcha.
yes, I did like yes. Yeah. Yep. That's
all of them.
Yep. Yeah. So anyway, it's just a fun time, but yeah, it was fun while it lasted, and maybe I'll delve back into it one day, but not right now. It was a fun ride while it lasted, but yeah. So if you've been listening to these and you cared at all when I was talking about my crypto, you can rest easy knowing that I made a little bit of money, but not as much as I could have if I just sold sooner. So kind of sucks. sucks for me. But
that's like the theme of crypto in the last 6
Yeah.
months.
100%. All right. Well, this seemed kind of like a good stopping place. Well, no, this was an encouraging message, and I just ended it with, "Hey, I just lost money." So let's come full circle here. Let's go back to living in the moment. And I guess the crypto thing was kind of a good example of just living in the moment. Like, I had fun with it while it lasted. Didn't quite play out as good as it could have if I had sold sooner, but I still made a little bit of money, and there's a silver lining there for sure. But if you listen to this episode, I just hope that you walk away with one thing, and that is to be where your feet are, stop and smell the roses, and understand that everyone's going through their own thing in life, and just encourage others to do the same thing where they can stop, breathe, and enjoy their life. Yeah. Alex, what do we got for an outro?
Nothing in particular. I think that's a good segue into it. You know, we've had so many technical difficulties this episode already that I think that it's just it's hard not to just be like, you know what, we're cutting it off right here.
Yeah.
But no, I think the encouragement was great, and I think
Yeah.
that'll be something to listen back to and help people out.
For sure. Well, thank you again for listening to this episode. Catch us in the next ones. Check out some of the ones with our guests. We're interviewing some really great guests. And some of the ones between Alex and I, as we get back in the groove, we're going to get into some fun topics. So, peace. Bye.